Tell you, tired of this weather, man. A little snow on the ground, snow blowing in my face. We're getting through April. Not fun. Anyways, enough complaining. Welcome to the video, guys. Today is Tuesday, April 8th, I think. 8th or 9th, maybe. And we're moving forward finally. The last 2 weeks, my body's been a little stubborn, definitely frustrating, definitely a little, mentally taxing for those who are prepping. Those feelings of when, the scale's not moving, it's just kind of can get to you a little bit. You try not to, and, I tell my clients, don't let the scale determine how you're feeling every single day, but, here I am 10 years later, and, every once in a while, you're still like, come on, just move. So last week I actually weighed on, I think it was Friday. I was 162.3, which is the highest I'd weighed in 2, maybe 3 weeks. So that was definitely a bit frustrating. So I sent a check-in off to Cliff, and it was just like, hey, heads up, this is what I weigh. He's like, all right, let's not jump to conclusions, because the night prior I ate quite late, and it was my larger meal I've been saving for the evenings, and I definitely had a good bit of food in me, and then pretty much went right to bed. And then the rest of the night was a little restless with the baby, so sleep was off. So obviously factors at play impacting the scale, and physiologically we know I didn't gain pound and a half of fat out of nowhere. So he's like, let's run the high day, and then let's check in again. Or I think we made an adjustment, maybe ran the high day, and then fired up another small change on top of the week prior. So over a 2-week span, we made a couple changes, and that brought things down. So 160.8 the last 2 mornings. So new lows, knocking on the 150s, which is exciting. I still feel really good physically. Definitely noticing how much mental plays a role in this. My last prep, I had some struggles with just how things were being handled on my end, as far as what's the word, just dealing with the hunger and the fatigue and the stress, and the emotional irregularity that comes with prep sometimes, and that impacted my relationship, and that wasn't enjoyable. So this go round, it's been a very big priority of mine to not let that happen. And I talked to Cliff a lot about this last prep, and he's like, I think a lot of what you're feeling is probably more self-imposed than actual prep itself. And here I am, closing in on reasonable condition, and still handling things very well. I'm not short, I'm not snappy, I'm relatively calm most days, and things are good on that front. So very, very proud of that, and just excited for what's to come. Anyways, I'm gonna keep walking. We got chest to shoulders on deck. My hands are freezing. You know the drill. Let's rock. Picked a bad time to prep, guys. My wife has taken up the lovely habit of learning how to make sourdough. Like, look at this. You got an everything sourdough, plain one. I come in the house and it smells like a bakery once, sometimes twice a week. I don't know if you guys can see back there on the counter. She made bagels. She got like cheese bagels and stuff. Just smells unreal. The post-workout hunger too. It just doesn't help, but not yet. I did have one slice on a high day when she first started making them. Very, 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 very good. She's got it down to a science now. So definitely looking forward to enjoying some of that in the off season. All right, guys, I'm just on my way to work and I want to kind of expand on, my comments this morning about like the mental side of this and how it can affect you, and honestly how you can control it to make prep easier. Like, prep will undoubtedly get hard, as you get to those, lower levels of body fat. Like, naturally your, hunger signals are going to go up. Your body's desire to find food and consume food will go up. And, even little things like food protectiveness, where, you kind of get antsy when you're eating because your body's worried it's going to, the food's going to get taken away from you. Like, all kinds of crazy shit happens when you get to those, like, later stages of prep. Fatigue is up. For many athletes, sleep takes a hit, because your body's, like, in fight or flight mode. So it's like, yo, don't sleep. Go find food. If you don't, we're going to die. So, all those things are kind of par for the course when you're prepping. And I've gone into this season, obviously, as a new dad, and one of my main focuses has been just not letting prep get in the way of that part of my life, right? And my relationship with my wife, and making sure that to the absolute best of my ability, I'm keeping my relationship with my wife, my relationship with my son at a very high standard, and not letting prep interfere with that, because at the end of the day, this is a choice I'm making, and it is not it's not their responsibility to feel the burden of that choice that I'm making, right? Because at the end of the day, they're not forcing me to do this. Nothing is forcing me to do this. It's all, a conscious decision I'm making to embark on this, right? So, for me, it's like, okay, I don't want prep to interfere with that. And I'll give you a prime example. Last night, actually, was a very good example of this. Historically, Beckham's been going to bed around 7:30. My wife and I will make dinner after that. So, 7:30, 8 o'clock, we're having dinner. And, we get a good hour and a half of just like us time and, watching TV, chilling on the couch and enjoying some peace after a long day, right? So, last night was not one of those nights. He was not going down. He's got these 2 top teeth coming in, so that probably played a role. And, we'd put him down and he'd lay in his crib for a bit, then, start fussing and crying, and we'd bring him out and we try to give him a bit more milk and let him play a little bit, and we try again. And we went back and forth, and it was probably about 8:15 by the time he had fallen asleep. And, obviously by this time we'd still hadn't made dinner. So my last meal was at 4, and prior to that, previous preps, I probably would have been a lot more, frustrated, a lot more irritable, a lot more focused on like, I need to get my meal in, I need to eat, I need to get my meal in, I need to prep my food for the next day and pack everything up. And, that's just not at the forefront of my mind anymore in those instances, because right now, his well-being is a priority, and I don't want to, seem frustrated and angry and all these things and let my prep feelings get in the way of, navigating that with my wife as well, because obviously she's had a long day and she's tired, and, she would like to have dinner too, and she would like to sit down and relax too. So it's not just me. And I find a lot of people get into that on prep, and, myself included, when I think back to previous preps where it was like my needs were above everybody else's, when it was time for me to eat, when I needed to prep my food and pack my meals, like nothing else mattered. And that's just not a healthy way to live, and it's not a healthy way to navigate prep through a relationship and all that kind of stuff. So, last night I had said to her, I was like, I'm proud of how I handled this situation, as silly as that may sound, because, previously I would have let my own internal feelings and stuff get in the way, and then just kind of just be running hot, and I didn't. I remained calm, and I was, I attended to him, and then when it was time to make dinner, and she was making the sourdough that I showed you this morning. She was preparing that last night too, so there was one more thing that she was trying to get done. And I was like, what do you want for dinner? Let me prep it up for you. So, I made her dinner first, got that in her, and it was probably 8:45 before I actually got to sit down and eat. And, and then we had our little peace and quiet, albeit shorter than maybe we had hoped for, but we had our downtime before, we went to bed. So it just goes to show you how strong your mind is, and how much that if you focus on the negative, or you focus on, God, I'm so hungry, I'm so tired, this is so hard, blah, 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 it will continue to fester, and it will be worse, right? And I even felt that a week or two ago when I was just having a week of oh man, I'm feeling prepped this week. And the more I focused on it, the more I thought about it, the worse it got. Whereas when I consciously don't think about those things, and I don't think about, how maybe I'm hungry or whatever the case may be, if I don't focus on them, it's nowhere near as bad. And not focusing on them then makes the rest of my life better, because I'm not letting it interfere with my family, my relationship, my work, all the other things, right? So just keep that in mind. If you're prepping right now, or you're starting prep, or like many athletes, you're getting into the thick of it for that spring season, you can make prep harder on yourself by focusing on the things that are challenging. And on the flip side, you can make prep easier by just accepting and understanding that this is a choice. These are decisions I'm making. At the end of the day, it is what it is. I'm going to get through it. I'm going to focus on the things that I can control in the moment. And, you will get your meal in. Maybe not right now, maybe in half an hour, maybe in an hour. You will get your food prepped, maybe not right now, maybe in an hour. Maybe you have other things to attend to that are ultimately more important, which, for 99.9% of us, prep is just something we're doing, right? It's not how we're making a livelihood. It's not how we're making our money. It's not how we're keeping our relationship intact, right? Keep in mind what's important and the hierarchy of those things. So, just wanted to expand on that. So, thanks for listening. It's been a minute. Been at work. Had post-workout meal part 1. Now part 2. Cream of rice. So we got the 60 grams cream of rice. 100 grams of berries. I like to throw some in there and then some have on separate. One thing I've been doing that I've not done in the past is the whey paste. People know. If you know, you know. So it's literally just a scoop of protein, or however much protein you want to use. I have 60 grams right now, so I do 30 in the cream of rice, mix it in, and then 30 in this paste. So then you just mix it with just a little bit of water. It takes a little bit of practice to get the ratio proper. Some people measure it. I just kind of add a little bit, mix it, add a little bit, so you get the desired consistency. And then you just kind of spread it on there. If we can just get a little bit of, oh yeah, that's good stuff. Makes a chocolate pudding. It's kind of a pain to get out, not gonna lie, but it's worth it. So then you have a nice little topping. See, I probably could have done a bit more water on this, and whatever's left in here, I'm just gonna probably spoon feed myself. Come on. Shouldn't be this hard. But yeah, so you get this sludgy goo. But it straight up tastes like cake batter. And that's not even prep taste buds saying that. Legit, anybody that tries this, they're going to be like, that's pretty good. What is that? I'm it's just protein. Yeah. And then you get kind of that on top. very good. I'm gonna let that cool a little bit, and then we'll enjoy. But yeah, just a work day today. Running the store, client check-ins, you know the drill. It's the next day, and I totally realized I didn't do any closing clip for the video yesterday, so I'm here for that. That's all I'm here for, just to end this video on a formal note. So thank you guys for watching. If you guys enjoyed the video, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Today's Wednesday, which means another half week down. So we are 8.5 weeks, 16.5 weeks. I love it. Okay guys, we'll see you in the next one.